Morning, good day, wherever you are in this world. Welcome back to Inner Earth School. Great to have you with us. Of course, as always, I'm joined by my partner in crime, Adam. How are you today?
Morning, brother. Morning, Earthlings. Feeling good. I've got my coffee. The sun is shining, and I am ready to talk with you and share what we're doing today. Excited.
Well, I guess to introduce this episode, we all face transitions in our life. Sometimes they are forced upon us, sometimes we choose them by ourselves, but it's regardless how we enter into these transitions, it is extremely important to understand the neutral zone. So the zone between the ending and the new beginning. And to start us really off, I found a quote that should get our minds working. Adam, listen to this. When we resist change, it's called suffering. When we can embrace the groundlessness, that's called freedom. Attributed to Pema Chodron.
Beautiful. Yeah, great quote, brother. And I think it speaks to a lot of the sort of Buddhist philosophy around creating your own suffering. It's definitely stuff that was talked about a lot when I did my Vipassana, and a big part of Eckhart Tolle's teachings as well. The more we resist what's happening, the harder it becomes, and the more suffering we give ourselves. I've definitely felt that myself. And I think it's also acceptance and surrendering doesn't necessarily mean not doing anything, but you have to at some point recognize and accept what's going on in front of you as a reality that you're having to cope with. So beautiful quote, great start, dude. Loved it.
Great, thank you. Well, especially in this neutral zone, I'm because I've faced that myself recently. I wanted to hear your thoughts on the concept of loss of certainty and how we deal with that when something is ending and we are suddenly sitting in a yeah identity crisis.
Yeah, thanks, dude. I hear you. I just feel the neutral zone is the hardest place to be, because it's so confusing. Um, Now, I think once you understand that the neutral zone is a confusing place and you're suffering from confusion, actually, that's a good sign. If you're suffering from confusion, that's good. It means you're in the neutral zone, and at least you're kind of one step away from the new beginning that you're looking for. Um, I've faced it many, many times myself, as I know you have, brother. Big one for me has been the last few years, leaving Ibiza, leaving relationships, um, leaving a career that I felt no longer fitted me anymore, vegan personal trainer. And I've gone through a really difficult couple of years of sitting in this neutral zone, not really knowing what was next, what was, just no point of reference, confusing, frustrating, lots of impatience was coming up for me. And then I started my course to become a hypnotherapist and a counselor. Um, and I would also like to give a shout out to William Bridges and his Bridges transition model, which really helped me to make sense this year, or last year, sorry, when I first read it, about the neutral zone that we find ourselves in. His wife, who's still alive, wrote the foreword to the book. So Susan Bridges. So shout out to them. It's a great little book, and if anyone's interested on helping themselves through transitions, I think it's a really valuable resource to look at that one. Um, did I not answer your question by answering it? Or
I think well, the
as I tend
classic
to, go
answering the question with a
on.
different question.
Yeah, yeah. Waffletron.
Yeah, no, it was great. Um, I I think this loss of certainty is it's the key one of the key aspects in this neutral zone because suddenly so many things are stripped away from you. You know, there's the ego and identity that you attach to whatever happened in that ending or the period that led to the ending. And suddenly you face yourself with some some real struggles, internal questions. You The old is gone, but you're not ready yet to accept the new,
Mm.
and you're in limbo. And it's almost a human design, right? That we are either trying to rush through it, or even worse, holding on to the old, and not allowing ourselves to surrender to the isness.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, definitely, brother. You know, that identity that you formed over a long period of time is who you are. It's how you recognize yourself in the world. Like it's the lens that you look at everything through, like your relationships, you know, your maybe your profession, how you hold yourself, how you communicate, um, and when that changes, um, and that identity is taken away, it's a scary place to be. Like, who am I now? Who am I, and who do I want to be? And it's confusing, like I mentioned before, and it's overwhelming. But it's also, if you can recognize you're there, if you can recognize that amidst the overwhelm and the confusion that you are actually in the neutral zone, then you can start to become excited by it, because you can recognize that, oh, the old version of me that I might have become really comfortable and I quite liked, but I'm having to let go of now, gives me an opportunity now. Gives me an opportunity to do something new, do something different, be someone different if I want to, if I choose to. Um, and that for me is a really exciting place to be, because we can get so caught up, can't we, in our identities and how they frame us, and how we look at the world. And coming into in the neutral zone gives you an opportunity to start seeing the world differently, and maybe do things that you've not done before, and learn new things about yourself that you didn't know existed. And it's all of that information that you start to learn about yourself at that point that takes you into your new beginning, or it actually starts to naturally coagulate and formulate the new version of you. So it's like you can't bypass the neutral zone, because the neutral zone is where you're becoming the new version of yourself. Um, it's a classic death and rebirth sort of cycle, the phoenix rising from the ashes, isn't it? Yeah, it's a great phase to be if you can just recognize you're in it.
Yeah, exactly. And actually, I think, let me drop a mid-episode quote again. I think it's the again from Pema Chodron, who said, "What you resist persists." Right. So
Mm,
if you resist that moment of beauty that is potentially ahead of you, and you're starting a new beginning without really acknowledging the changes that your true self really wants to see happening,
mm.
well, the cycle continues.
Definitely, and I think actually what came to my head then, I think romantic and relationship breakups are the best way to illustrate that what we resist persists, and the creation of your own suffering. You know, when it's easy to get over someone if you're the one that's made the decision, right? But if the other person actually made the decision that they wanted to end the relationship, it's much harder to actually accept. And I'm sure any of us who have ended up in that place will know how hard it is to accept, and we resist. We go through this period of denial around actually what's going on, and it's denying the results, or the fact of what is going on in front of you. It just does bring you more suffering, and the sooner you can come to terms with it and move beyond it and accept what has happened, then you can start moving on. But yeah, it's a tough place to be, and the more you resist things, yeah, the more they persist.
Yeah, from a personal experience, if you're not careful, you attach so much of yourself, what society puts upon these external validations that we're trying to adhere to. And if we are not, and yeah, this goes back to what we talked about in previous episodes, and we'll probably talk about in many many other episodes, is the holy grail of self acceptance and self love,
Mm.
to strip away all this mud and um, um, yeah, the heavy burden that we carry from expectations from family, friends, relationships, society, the employers, or whatever it is that we shoulder. And and once we kind of can strip this away, it's when surrendering begins.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, for sure, brother. Um, I want to just sort of throw in there that also a bit like our episodes. This is going to be quite a meta thing that I'm going to say now. In that there's going to be a lot of blending from one episode to the other, which is also what happens with these transitions that we go through, these phases of transitions. It's not like you wake up one night and one phase has ended and the other's begun. It's a process, you know. I feel for me, I was sat in the neutral zone for 2 years, and last year was the start of the new beginning. But like I said, it felt like it was only the start of the new beginning. So, and that's a whole year. So, these processes and transitions and evolutions in our lives can take time. It depends how deep they are, right? And um, but they can take a while. But yeah, it's to remember that it's not black and white, and you'll find yourself gradually moving through one to the other over a period of time.
What what do you think would be kind of some practical tips and tricks to help people move, not even move through the neutral zone, but just kind of allowing us to enter it, to make peace with the ending, and then kind of gradually feel comfortable in the liminal space.
Yeah, yeah, good question, brother. And I think that speaks to everything that we're kind of doing in Earth and talking about. I think the word that comes to my mind is curiosity. Um, get curious about who you are. I think go on a process of self discovery. Do some new things. Do some stuff that you've never done before. Um, because you don't know how long you're going to be in this transition for, or this zone, and part of it is to get to know yourself really on a deep level, because you're no longer that person. So in order for you to move forward, you've got to get to know yourself. And so yeah, doing anything that you can to see yourself through a new lens, um, whether that's doing some kind of course like the Pathfinder program that we offer, or it's doing a new activity, or taking part in a new group, joining a new group, or yeah, going out on some hikes with a different set of friends, and or rekindling some old relationships. Um, but you've got to move in some sort of shape or form. You might not be able to move out of the phase itself, but you can. But it's important that you do start moving and thinking differently, reading books, listening to different resources, podcasts, audiobooks, etc. Maybe go to some seminars, some events. Yeah, just start kind of creating a lot of events or scenarios where you can start to see yourself in a new light, and that will start to give you the information to move forward then into that new version of who you want to become, basically. That is what I would say. But
Perfect.
what about yourself? Have you
But
got what do you think?
yeah, I kind of when you said, I I almost thought, well, great. I mean, like we should do this constantly, right?
Mm.
Why
Yeah.
not always be inquisitive and curious?
Mm.
But as we are just simple humans, our soul is unfortunately trapped in sometimes a malfunctioning body with a mind that is our karma, as Ramdas likes to say. Um, the pain needs to to reach a certain level, and
Mm.
by certain level I mean it needs to, like, whatever my threshold is might not be yours, or vis-a-vis. So and play with that, allow the pain to build up, right? And recognize it and say, wow, all right, now it's really the time to become more curious, because the avatar I've been creating until this moment no longer fits the version that I want to become.
Mm.
Again, this it sounds very very meta, but if you really break it down, curiosity is a fantastic thing, and also allow, for me, this is, it's one of my key go-tos, is then also stillness. Become curious with yourself, not just in relation to the outside, like you so beautifully described, you know, not necessarily new friends, but like meet new people,
Mm.
or have new hobbies, but also like allow yourself to sit in that, in the pain, and let it. Don't try and ignore it, but sit with it. What does it tell you? Why
Mm.
why is there pain? Why is there
Mm.
discomfort? Why do I feel I have a, like a, why does my tummy rumble when I do certain things? This is all super valuable information.
Mm. Yes, brother. Yeah, curiosity. It's so important, isn't it? Um, yeah, yeah. Beautifully put. I'd really add to that. Only that I think what curiosity does is takes something that's potentially dark and heavy and challenging, um, and curiosity brings an element of adventure, of fun, of kind of exploration into the process,
Yes.
so that it doesn't have to be such a like why me isn't why is my life like not like so and so's, and um, so curiosity is, I think, is a really, curiosity and fascination, I would say, are two of the top words to close down this episode with today. But as is rapidly becoming a tradition, I would like to wrap up with a quote. It's a commonly known one. I don't really know who it attributes it to, but I think the thing to remember when you're in the neutral zone is that it's always darkest before the dawn. And that's it for me.
Beautiful, beautiful place to land the spaceship. Thank you, Adam, for your wisdom. Thank you, everybody, for watching. It's been really great that you stopped by. Of course, I need to do the YouTube shenanigans. It would mean the world to us if you like and subscribe. But most importantly, because we are curious beings, we would love to hear, how do you see the neutral zone? Are you maybe in a neutral zone? How do you navigate it? Is there anything that you play with? Like, how are you curious with your own life? Leave us a comment, please. And hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye, Earthlings. Adam, any last words?
Goodbye, Earthlings. Thanks for watching. See you on the other side. Thanks, brother. Peace out. Love you.